While skyscrapers were home to commercial office space for much of the 20th century, the pressures of our ever-expanding urban populations have driven a rise in residential towers over recent decades. In Melbourne, a skyscraper boom has transformed the skyline, and 2/3 of the city's skyscrapers now serve residential purposes. The largest of these, Australia 108, is set to become the tallest building in the city and will feature the highest residences in the Southern Hemisphere when completed. Originally approved as a mixed-use hotel and residential tower in 2013, Australia 108 was set to rise 388 metres and 108 stories above Melbourne, making it the country's tallest building. However, the project was shelved just 4 months after approval when it was discovered that the structure would breach the flight path of a nearby airport. Retaining many elements of the original design, architects FENDER KATSALIDIS reduced the height of the structure to 317 metres and redesigned its 100 stories for residential use, regaining approval for the development in 2014. Designed by the same architect, Australia 108 shares a number of key features with the city's current tallest building, the Eureka Tower. Both towers feature a stepped profile, distinctive bands across their facades, and prominent gold features that pay homage to the Victorian gold rush of the 19th century that cemented Melbourne as one of Australia's most important cities. Breaking ground in 2015, the foundations of Australia 108 are some of the most substantial ever constructed in the city. With the site located in the historically swampy area of Melbourne's SOUTHBANK, engineers initially spent 9 months boring piles to a depth of 46 metres. The building's superstructure is supported internally by 2-metre-thick concrete core walls and a series of mega-columns, which extend the height of the structure while being cleverly integrated into each apartment so as to go unnoticed by residents. Externally, the tower's form is a response to the extreme wind loads acting on the structure. Instead of hard corners, much of the tower's perimeter is rounded with large curves that help to disrupt the powerful winds blowing off the bay. Additionally, Australia 108's 98th floor level is dedicated to a liquid column damping system. Much like a tuned mass damper, this system shifts the tower's centre of gravity by using large volumes of liquid to counteract lateral loads acting on the structure and minimise movement for occupants. Due to the project's scale, the tower was in fact split into 5 distinct phases of development, with completed floors handed over early rather than being left vacant. In June 2018, 277 of the 1,105 apartments available in the tower were released for occupation, with more than 50 stories still to be constructed above them. To ensure resident comfort, the lobby of the tower and some of its elevator systems have been completed early, while construction teams continue to enter the site from alternative access points. Additionally, a 20-storey buffer space has been created between the occupied floors and those still under construction to ensure that residents are shielded from any noise or vibration. This method of staged release will continue roughly every 6 months until the building is fully completed in 2020. Perhaps the most unique feature of Australia 108 is its striking facade and distinct starburst element. Inspired by the Commonwealth star on the Australian flag, the gold starburst covers 3 stories of the tower, 2 of which are habitable, and cantilevers up to 6 metres beyond the building footprint. Containing 2 levels of amenities across the 70th and 71st floors, the Starburst contains a sky garden, dining rooms and a gym, as well as 2 infinity pools located 210 metres above street level. While level 69 acts as a supporting outrigger floor to the cantilevered structure above and required extensive amounts of concrete to construct, most of the Starburst consists of a steel truss structure that was lifted into place after being largely pre-assembled on the ground. In addition to these amenities, residents will also have access to a podium terrace, theatre and a spa within the tower. While less obvious than the Starburst, the building's facade hides a unique visual feature of its own. While appearing as distinct white bands during the day, as night approaches, LED lights within these bands illuminate, offering a striking visual display on the skyline. While Australia 108 will not officially take the title of Australia's tallest skyscraper away from Q1 on the Gold Coast, it will lay claim to the title of the Southern Hemisphere's highest residence, with its record-breaking penthouse on the 100th floor. The penthouse, which occupies the entirety of the floor plate, features 4 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, a library, theatre, private sky courtyard, and dedicated elevator access. When it sold to a Chinese businessman for 25 million Australian dollars, around 17.4 million US dollars, it became the most expensive apartment purchased in Australia at the time. Though Australia 108 is on its way to becoming the city's tallest skyscraper, plans are already underway for future schemes that would dwarf this impressive structure. Melbourne made headlines in 2018 when architects from around the world competed in a high-profile competition to design a landmark tower on the site opposite Australia 108. UN Studio and Cox Architecture were declared the winners with their green spine scheme, which would rise to a height of 356 metres, taking advantage of recent changes to the aviation restrictions, which limited the height of Australia 108 back in 2013. However, with a start date not expected before 2022 and the construction landscape continually shifting, Australia 108 looks set to hold on to its title for some years to come. If you enjoyed this video and would like to get more from the definitive video channel for construction, subscribe to the B1M.